Anybody here could be a suspect. Inexplicably, Gino obeyed and lowered his voice to the decibel level of a leaf blower. I call the fat guy wearing mom jeans who's glaring at me. He looks like a pervert. Gino's beneficent mood had clearly reversed course, so Magozzi turned his back on ensuing confrontation and spotted a tall, emaciated woman standing in a corner, observing the proceedings with annoyed hauteur. She was pretty, but everything about her was severe, from the jutting angles of bone to the funereal black dress she wore. Her dark hair was twisted into a tight bun that seemed to stretch taut the pale skin of her face, and there was a spooky lack of life in her stone-colored eyes. He grabbed Gino's arm and redirected him. Let's move on. They approached the woman and got an icy smile. May I help you? Minneapolis detectives Leo Magozzi and Gino Rolseth. Do you work here? Her eyes widened slightly, and the frost melted just a bit. Yes, I'm Madeline Montgomery, the gallery curator. Were you here last night? Of course, we had a large event, Rotto's opening. She gave Gino a look of subdued malice as he pushed a blow-up of Kelly Ramage's driver's license photo toward her face. Do you recognize this woman? Her eye swept the photograph, but there was no sign of familiarity. Not specifically. What does that mean? She's an attractive blonde woman. They don't exactly stand out in Minnesota. This attractive blonde woman will stand out to you for the rest of your life, Miss Montgomery. We're investigating her death. We believe she was here last night before she was murdered. Her cool decayed quite a bit more, and her eyes darted around the gallery. Please, let's step into my office. Madeline Montgomery's office was as minimalist as the rest of the gallery, but, thankfully, without the disturbing artwork. She gestured to two chairs that looked like molten resin blobs with wings, then sat down in her own weird, different sort of blob chair behind a pale birch desk. What can I do to help you, detectives? We need to see any surveillance footage you have from last night. Certainly. Would you like to view it here, or shall I have a copy made? A copy would be fine, thank you. Madeline didn't seem the least bit put out, and spoke softly into a tiny discreet comm unit that had been concealed beneath the fluted black fabric of her collar. Magozzi noted that the words police and detectives came up a couple of times. Our tech person, Mr. Maurer, will have a copy for you shortly, detectives. Thanks. Gino looked around the unadorned room. So, Rotto is a pretty controversial figure. Seeing his work, I understand why. He has his detractors, as you surely noticed on your way into the gallery, but no artist's work is meant to express the literal or obvious, and his intentions certainly aren't to promote violence against women. His work is widely misunderstood. What are his intentions? To highlight the analog between actual physical bondage and violence to that engendered by technology. In his opinion, there is no distinction. Gino presented his best, gosh, golly gee, I'm just a hick impersonation. Maybe you can explain that. I'm not really an art guy. She smiled back, and not in an entirely patronizing way. Aren't we all enslaved by our devices to one degree or another? I certainly am. Rotto's point is that willingly relinquishing control is dangerous under any circumstances, and technology is supremely seductive in that way because it seems harmless at first. It's a clever deception. But look at all the acts of violence, all the death that has been caused by the preeminence of technology in our lives, from cyberbullying to terror recruitment to normalizing violence of all kinds. His art isn't meant to incite, it's meant to illuminate one of the greatest challenges of our time. Magozzi noticed that Gino was making an exhaustive effort not to roll his eyes or puke. That's a pretty big